The champagne flute shattered against the oak floor, its golden fizz hissing like a dying snake. I stood frozen, my hand still outstretched, the echo of Emily's voice slicing through the haze of our 10th anniversary party. "I never loved you, Daniel," she'd said, her lips curling with a cruelty I'd never seen in her before. The room spun, candlelight flickering on the faces of our guests, their murmurs swallowed by the pounding in my skull. Her words weren't a confession, they were a detonation. I'd spent the evening toasting to our decade together, my chest swollen with pride as I recounted our love story to friends and family in our sprawling Manhattan penthouse. Emily, radiant in her emerald dress, had smiled through it all, her hand grazing mine with practiced warmth. But now, as the guests scattered like startled birds, her mask had slipped. She stood by the grand piano, her lover, my business partner, Victor, lurking behind her, his smug grin a blade twisting in my gut. The first crack in my trust had come months earlier, subtle as a hairline fracture. Emily's late-night texts, her phone angled just out of my view, her excuses about work dinners that stretched past midnight. I'd rationalized it. Her marketing firm was demanding, and I was buried in my father's legacy, the family publishing house he'd built from nothing. I'd inherited his dream, his name, his enemies. Victor, with his tailored suits and serpent's charm, had been one of them, though I'd foolishly trusted him as my right-hand man. Emily's distance, I told myself, was just stress. Love doesn't erode so quietly. "Do you even know what you've lost?" she said now, her voice low, venomous. The room was empty save for us three, the air thick with the scent of spilled wine and wilting roses. This marriage was a means to an end, Daniel. Victor and we'd been planning this for years. My knees buckled, but I gripped the edge of the bar, the polish wood cold under my palms. Planning? My mind clawed at memories. Our first date at the pier, her laughter under the Ferris wheel's neon glow, the way she cried when I proposed on that snowy rooftop. 10 years. Could every moment have been a lie? My throat burned with a question, but all I managed was, why? Victor stepped forward, his polished shoes clicking on the floor. "Your father's company, Daniel. It's a dinosaur, hoarding influence it doesn't deserve. Emily and I are going to tear it down, brick by brick, and build something better. With my investors, my vision." "Your vision?" I spat, my voice cracking. "You're a leech, Victor. You've been siphoning our profits for years, haven't you?" The realization hit like a punch. The missing funds, the delayed contracts, the whispers of a hostile takeover. I'd blamed market shifts, not betrayal. Emily's laugh was a jagged thing, slicing through my haze. "You're so naive, Daniel. You thought I married you for love? I married you for access. Your father's empire, his connections, his secrets, they are ours now." My chest tightened, grief and rage tangling like barbed wire. I saw my father's face in my mind, his callous hand flipping through manuscripts, his voice steady as he told me, "This company is our soul, Daniel. Protect it." I'd failed him. I'd let Emily and Victor slither into our lives, blind to their venom. But there were signs, weren't there? The late-night call she'd taken in the garden, her silhouette pacing under the willow tree, the way Victor's hand lingered on her shoulder during board meetings, a touch too familiar. I dismissed it, drowning my doubts in work, in her soft kisses, in the life we'd built. Denial is a powerful drug. "Say something, Daniel," Emily taunted, her eyes glinting with a stranger's malice. "Or are you too broken to fight?" I wanted to scream, to hurl accusations, to beg her to tell me it was a cool joke. Instead, I whispered, "How long?" She tilted her head, as if savoring my pain. "Since before we met. Victor introduced us. Remember? He saw you at that gala, the heir to a crumbling empire, ripe for the picking. I played my part perfectly." The room tilted. I remember that night, her in a sapphire gown, her smile disarming, Victor clapping me on the back as he said, "She's one of a kind, Dan. A setup, a decade-long con." My love for her, my trust in him, it was all a script they'd written. But something didn't add up. Emily's fingers twitched, her gaze flickering to Victor for a split second. Was that fear? Guilt? I clung to that crack in her facade, desperate for a shred of the woman I'd loved. If it was all a lie, I said, my voice steadying now. Why did you stay so long? Why the tears, the late-night talks, the promises? Her lips parted, but Victor cut in. Don't let him manipulate you, Em. His grasping at straws. Em. The nickname stung, a private intimacy stolen from me. But her hesitation lingered, a flicker of doubt in her eyes. I pressed forward, my voice raw. You wrote me that letter, Emily, the one after my father died. You said you'd carry his legacy with me, that we were a team. Was that a lie too? She flinched, her composure cracking. I meant it then, she whispered, so soft I barely heard. Victor's hand clamped on her arm, and she straightened, her mask snapping back into place. It doesn't matter now. But it did. That flicker was my lifeline. I turned to Victor, my rage finding a target. You use her, didn't you? You dangle power, money, whatever she wanted. But she's not your pawn, Victor. She's human. His smirk faltered, just for a moment. You're pathetic, he said, but his voice lacked its earlier bite. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. I saw it now, the fracture between them. Emily's ambition had driven her to Victor, but love, or something like it, had tethered her to me, if only for moments. She wasn't a monster, just a woman who'd made a terrible choice, caught in a web of her own making. I stepped closer, my voice low, deliberate. Emily, you don't have to do this. Walk away from him. We can fix this. Her eyes welled, but Victor laughed, sharp and cold. She's mine, Daniel. And so is your company. Check your email. The board's voting you out tomorrow. The words landed like a guillotine, but I didn't flinch. I kept my eyes on Emily, searching for the woman I'd loved. You're better than this, I said. You always were. She turned away, her shoulders trembling, and Victor dragged her toward the door. As it slammed shut, I sank to the floor, the weight of 10 years crushing me. But in my pocket, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Check the safe. She left something for you. My heart stuttered. The safe in our bedroom. Emily's handwriting on a note, tucked among my father's old contracts. I stumbled upstairs, my hand shaking as I opened it. Inside, a USB drive and a scrawled message. I'm sorry. Use this to stop him. Emily's betrayal had broken me, but her guilt might save me. Victor thought he'd won, but the game wasn't over. Not yet,